What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Strength Solutions Podcast. We're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate review us. Check us out on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe. We'll give you you got some time. Subscribe. Then, if you're looking for a website, it's strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. If you're looking to email us future fitness questions or topics you want us to talk about, strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Then social media, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, Strength Solutions Podcast. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Okay, dude. I don't want to hear your Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
There's
John Jingleheimer Smith.
I would like to point out that we finally got this picture right in the middle of us.
Is this the first time?
I think this is the first time.
You know why? Because I did the setup.
We got to keep it right here.
I did the setup. That's
Don't
why.
touch a thing.
Okay, dude. So it's breast cancer awareness. Like,
Yeah.
Everybody's wearing their pink.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, even though these companies are putting pink for breast cancer and things that harm cancer, why don't they just take out the stuff
Yeah.
out of that causes the cancer?
I posted a meme about this the other day, and it was funny how many people responded to it. And they were like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, what's the problem? And it was even funny too, because in the picture, it was like a lot of companies that sell products that you ingest will change the color of it to pink. And it's like, that can't be good for you either. Yeah. What the hell are we doing? And it's nice. It's a good sentiment, right? To I don't know, bring some awareness. It does make you think about it, but I don't know. I don't know.
Because money's the only thing that matters to them.
Yeah.
They don't care about ethics or anything like that.
Yeah. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know, man. What does awareness really do? I'm pretty sure we all know that breast cancer exists and something needs to be done about it. At this point, I think we're aware enough.
Just like I believe a lot of people are aware they need to work out, they need to be healthy. It's the steps of taking action and really helping. That's why a lot of these podcasts, they're good. They make you really aware. But I remember when I was going through my phase of learning a lot of shit.
Yeah.
It was great. But then I wasn't applying it.
Mm.
And applying it matters more than anything else.
100%.
Is learning how to slowly apply things. And that's why we did that episode about a good trainer would help speed up your process because they would teach you how to apply it properly over time.
Right.
Well, anyways, back to breast cancer. Mm-hmm. What I really want to talk about is the disservice the fitness industry, health doctors in the past have caused women's health. And with having two daughters, it's a big deal for me to learn a lot more. I think I know more about women's cycle than a lot of women know about their cycle.
Maybe, yeah.
Right. It's really interesting to me when sometimes women will tell me things. I was like, well, what phase are you in? Are you a follicular or luteal phase? It makes a huge difference. They're like, what do you mean? It's I think I'm speaking Chinese or Japanese or something.
And I think the issue is that to learn that information, you have to go and seek it out, right? Yeah. It's not taught in school. It's not taught to young women at any point, or I don't know. No, I don't think it is, and so you have to go and actively search for this information. And I would imagine, that if it's happening to me, I would think I'm probably pretty well aware of what's going on. But like you said, it's more detailed. There's things that are going on. The more you learn about it, the better you'd be able to, maybe prepare or handle it or do those types of things. But to the point that you were just saying, it's not just information that's given. And why isn't it? Why isn't it? If women are going through these things all the time and everybody knows, why are they not being educated on this in school at a young age?
Yeah. So some women have PCOS, right? And inflammation's a big part of it. There's different types of PCOS and things like that. But yet we're putting them in a position in the fitness industry to fail. So there's a whole phase of cold plunging, right? So I've learned recently, it may be better to not go as cold for women who have PCOS because it may cause a stress response to cause more inflammation, right? And therefore you're putting them in a much more inflammatory state instead of reducing inflammation overall.
Right.
And so when we're talking about these things, make sure we talk about individuality and not be so general. I think if you go to the beginning of our podcast, we were very general and we never brought up other components. But I think as we've gone along, we were like, well, it could be this or that. Mm. And it depends. And then saying these words, and that's what you want to look for when you're looking for somebody out there.
Yeah.
Also wearables do a horrible thing in the fitness industry because it's all based off of like, this is what your 24-hour cycle should be, right?
Yeah.
When men's cycles are more 24-hour, and women are more like 28-day to 35 days, whatever their normal regular period comes by, right? So what's your recovery rate at your luteal phase versus your follicular phase, right? During ovulation. These are things that you have to think about as a woman, and you're getting this data on your watch about your HRV is this, and then you're depending that on your workout the next day. Even guys shouldn't go based off of just their HRV, but what is their grip strength? What do they want to get out of it today? There's a lot of factors within a day you got to think about. What did I eat before coming into this workout?
Yeah. There's
so many things versus I could do this or I can do that kind of thing.
Like you were saying earlier, I think it's about the application as opposed to like the data, right? While wearables are great and maybe they provide some extra information or something like that, if you're just going by that only, just by the data, right, then you're bound to miss out on these other aspects of it, like the application aspect of it, of like, you just said, what is my mental state today? What am I feeling like? What is this? What is that? And if you're just looking at it and saying, well, I should feel good today, but I don't for some reason. And then you go and you try and do a program that's maybe too intense for you that day, then you do bad, right? And then you leave and you're like, well, what the hell's wrong?
More likely to injure yourself.
More likely to injure yourself. You add extra stress, or maybe you're already inflamed and now you're pushing it even further, and then you end up sick and you're like, what's going on? And so these are the types of things where, like we were saying, you just have to look at the individual, right? And think about yourself too as the individual. Think about what you feel and what you know, right? Mm-hmm. The numbers as well, right? And then make a decision based on that. But you can't go by just either one.
Yeah. And when we talk about fertility, we always talk about women. You got to think about 50% of that puzzle is men. Right? That's half the puzzle. So we need to stop putting pressure on women too in the health and fitness industry about their fertility. Mm-hmm. Now, they also need to learn things like when you're about like 30-ish, late 20s, you're probably at like a 25% chance to get pregnant the month when you're trying. And then as you age, it goes into like 20%. And then when you get, that's like mid 30s. And then when you get 40 plus, it could literally be like a 3% chance each month. Your chances get smaller and smaller as you go on. Mm. Right. So I think it's important too to give women options, not just with their fertility. We should give women options in the sense of, hey, you want to have a career right now and you want to have kids later. So maybe we should freeze your eggs.
Oh, yeah.
Right. IVF. Something, give women options to be in control of themselves and what they want to do with their lives. Now, there's pros and cons of having your kids young versus older. Right? Typically you have better energy, but you're not as mature. You're not as financially stable. And then when you're older, you may be more financially stable. You're more mature, but I think it's about giving women and men options, because it's not just giving women options if they're able to freeze their eggs, but maybe their future partner, they decides to be with them, options as well. Right. And they could talk about this, and the more options, the more education, the better it is off.
And the better decisions they can make too, right? A lot of women I know feel like that sort of countdown, right? The timer kind of ticking on them. And they may choose a partner that maybe they don't, really have a good connection with or whatever it is, but they're the person that's there and they really want to have a baby no matter what. So they just make a decision to do so. And then it ends up not being the best later, right? But if they have that option of freezing eggs or doing whatever, and IVF, like you said, and all of these options, well, they can take their time, right? People can take their times. This would benefit men as well, right? Yeah. And I think that we don't think about that, right? Like if it benefits women, then by proxy, men will also benefit in some way from it.
Yeah. And let's talk about like birth control. A lot of times they're like, oh, this will help regulate your cycle and all that stuff. Well, what's wrong is there's something wrong with your health. That's a whole.
Why is your cycle deregulated?
Why is it deregulated, right? Yeah. And I think a lot of times, instead of just going to a doctor and finding that easy solution, try to find that root cause. If you need to take it for contraceptive and you're like actively having sex and you want to take it, but I do believe it should be like a shorter period of your life. And I think the best thing, now I'm not saying every man has to do this, but like the best thing I ever did was actually have this vasectomy for myself and my wife. So that way she didn't have to take the pill anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And it's less damaging to me than it would have been to her. Right.
And like you said too, it's, okay, maybe the cycle's regulated, but now everything else is a mess, right? They're other hormones out of whack. They don't feel right. They're not eating. They can't perform in the gym the same way. All these things when you're taking birth control that I don't think, they're just like, oh, well, let's just fix your period and it'll be cool. But I've had friends, partners, things like that have taken birth control and dude, they're just fucking nuts on it, and it's like,
and they never know what their cycle really is.
Yeah.
Because you're not really having a period.
Yeah, you don't sometimes. And
you're not menstruating.
And sure, there's certain individuals who like need that, right? Maybe they have like a blood disorder or something like that. But even then it's like, okay, well, what can I do outside of just taking medication to help that, right? And, medication is great. And in some cases, like we just said, is needed. But a lot of the times it's just a Band-Aid, right? And we're not, like, that was a great point. It's okay. Well, if you need medication to regulate your cycle, why is it dysregulated? What is going on? And is medication really the only answer for this? Or is there other things that you could do? And, we've talked about depression medications and things like that. Like maybe use it for a small portion of time. Like you mentioned, a smaller portion of your life, right? Dude, some people take birth control from the moment they get their period and then they just take it for the rest of their life, until they decide to have a kid or whatever. But think about the damage that it does to them, to men, right? Who are having to deal with it. We've talked about how when women take birth control, it passes, right? Like, and so, it benefits in the same way that you said, hey, you got a vasectomy and that benefits your wife, right? Yeah. And so I don't know. I think we got to like work together here.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're on a team.
Yeah.
Now, something that's a big disservice, and I hope they do more studies on, is perimenopause. So, we know this is when menopause is, like a year after your last bleed or whatever, right? And I think that's like the
definition
that they use, which is ridiculous because menopause and perimenopause starts before that, right? Like it's literally could be 10 years. But from my understanding, it's when you start feeling a little bit different as a woman, right?
Yeah.
And personally with my partner, right, I felt like, okay, she has a cyst in one of her ovaries, got taken out. So hers is probably going to happen sooner, right? And there was one New Year's Eve, and it was just a little bit more depressive into the new year. Like we need to go out more. We need to do more. And I was like, this is the moment. You're going through it already.
I think something's going on. Yeah.
Right. You're not the same. Sex drive was different and stuff like that. And so this is where hormone replacement therapy plays a huge role for women. Yeah. And it can make you happier, not put you on when do women get SSRIs all the time? Right around this time. And it's because there's a hormone imbalance and a hormone change. Take testosterone away from us. Look at the way we feel different on testosterone now that we're actually replacing it because we were so low. I can remember our energy before, and it's way different. So we need to make hormone replacement therapy normal for women as well. Yeah. Like, why is it so easy to go to the doctor and get testosterone replacement and talk about it like it's normal? But when it comes to women's estrogen or progesterone and testosterone, because they have a little bit more complex nuance into theirs, why is it such a big deal to actually try to alter?
Why aren't there compounding clinics for this? Like, why can't they just go get blood work, have someone look at it and say, all right, we're going to
try this for 3 months. And then the next 3 months, if this doesn't feel right, we'll alter.
Because it's literally exactly what they do for guys. And at this point, there's fucking 15 million testosterone clinics everywhere. They're playing ads on the radio and on TV and at events. There's people who are businesses that are giving out testosterone, and they'll give you a B12 shot right there and stuff. But women have to go see some gynecologist that like doesn't listen to them and and then wonder what's going on.
The craziest part in medical history is learning that they used to put women around this time in insane asylums because they thought they were just going crazy. It's just crazy. And it's just, we've gotten better as a society accepting these differences in women and mental states, because it's true. I mean, there's a bunch of divorces that happen right around menopause because no longer she needs to be in charge of kids and stuff like that. It's more about her at that moment. And that's why the 3 most common times are like right around that time when they become menopause and more grandparents. Yeah. When the kids graduate high school, and then when the kids are really young, typically the most divorces. And it's because something hormonally changed. Just like when a woman has a baby, a man's testosterone typically drops.
Yeah.
So it affects men too. So we need to, it's not me versus them. It's us working together as a team, figuring out like, what do you need that I need?
We're all connected.
Connected in the circle of life.
Yeah.
Man, Lion King was so right. Don't go over there to the dark. Why, Dad? Why?
That's where the menopause is.
You know, I don't know if you sent to me or I sent to you, but there was like this guy who's like, the next time you hear that nutrition isn't complicated, look at this. And it was a picture of the digestive tract and all the different things happening in different areas of the digestive tract. Now, I agree with it and I disagree with it. It is complicated. Nutrition and the way you absorb, use, digest.
The science.
The science behind it is very nuanced. The application, we can make it a little bit more simple. And the way we make it simple is by changing one variable at a time versus changing like everything at once, right? That's what makes it complicated, changing everything at once. So if you eat a certain way and you have this much protein, your carbohydrates are about this much, you do this and you track, you can make it really super simple for yourself.
The thing that I like don't understand sometimes is our job as personal trainers, doctors, nutritionists, dietitians, health professionals, right? Is to make it accessible and simple for the patient or client, right? That is our job. And so even though the science and how complicated it is true, our job is not to focus on that, right? We're supposed to know that information so well that we can go and tell someone, all right, get this much that, this, and they should just be able to go apply that, right? And it can be simple too. You don't have to be like, why did you feel your digestion was this day or whatever? Even that's a pretty simple question. And you can just ask someone like, all right, we're going to try this and then we'll see how you feel after 2 weeks, right?
Did you sleep well?
Yeah. And now we might know that, oh, it's probably because this is going on in the digestive tract or they're not doing this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then your job is to say, all right, cool, let's tweak this and that, right? And so like you said, it's not false, right? What this person said isn't a lie. But it's also one of those things where I'm like, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to like scare people? Are we trying to, I don't know, are you trying to tell them that they need a dietitian? There's only one way to do this and they need your product or whatever it is. I don't know. But seeing things like that, I'm like, we don't even need to talk about that. You know, that's a conversation for you and I to have, right? To talk about those types of things or with their doctor or whatever. But the patient themselves, I think it only creates more complication if you're trying to explain all these things to them.
Yeah. And there's a way to explain it. So there's like a way to explain it. Like if you're just a normal person, like, hey bro, like this is where bro science is real good. Really trying to simplify it. Even though they don't explain it properly, it gives the gist of it, right?
It doesn't matter because I'm like, if at the end point it still happens, it's fine.
Where the scientist or the doctor will come up, well, you're taking the follicular, and just like literally put these long words and you're just like confused at the end of it. And you're like, I thought I was just having shoulder surgery.
Yeah. And the thing is that you leave and nothing got any better, right? I didn't understand. I still don't know what's happening. I came to you to explain it to me and now I'm leaving more confused. And so I'm like, what are you doing? What's your job here? And you're not really helping this person out.
Yeah. And then he showed me the valuable lesson of testicular implants.
Yep.
I did not know that was a thing.
I did not know
I want to make
either.
my balls bigger.
So it's funny. So I was watching and we have been talking about recently a lot of weird implants that are coming around, like the quad implants and all that
Do you know
stuff.
what's crazy about the quad one? I still don't get it. Like quads are so easy to build for everybody.
It's just too hard, you know? Like
all you got to do is like lean out a little bit.
To do some leg extensions.
Dude, just work. Like, it's just trippy to me.
With the testicular implants, yeah, they were showing them and they had like different sizes. They look like little eggs filled with silicone, like a breast implant, but you know, ball sized. And so I was looking at it and yeah, my first idea was like, who the hell is getting these and going like, I want big old balls, right? Like who is going out there?
Well, first I'm going to say someone who's trans, right? That's the first obvious one.
That's the thing, is that I started going through the comments and I was just like reading, because you expect everybody like, oh, this is so stupid, what is going on, blah, blah. And I think someone did ask, they were like, genuine question, please nobody get mad at me, but like, what the hell is this for? And someone, that was the first thing. They were like, it's like gender affirming care, right? If someone is transitioning and they want to see this, right, to make themselves feel like this is what's happening and things like that, that is one of the things. And I was like, oh shit,
somebody loses a ball,
if you had surgery, if you had an injury or something like that and you don't have it and it bothers you, right, or you're embarrassed or it bothers your self-esteem or something like that, like these are things. And so in the same way, I feel like there's extreme ends, right? The same thing with like breast implants, right? People will get breast implants after having breast cancer, right? Or transitioning, I'm sure, right? And so
we never can say breast implants are bad.
As men, it's our duty to never say anything bad about them. What was that meme that you sent me the other day? It was like, marry the ass, buy the boobs.
Canceled.
But it's one of those things, right? It's the same thing. It's be a man, right? Yeah. It's one of those things, right? And so I know there are some where you think about like quad implants and you're like, that's purely got to be aesthetic. Like I can't think of too many situations
because you're not going to function without a quad.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, I mean, these are all things you can get, care for anything. And I think it brings up a good point that like, that's something that we don't want to go away, like gender affirming care. One day it could happen to you, right? And whether or not
somebody
and whether or not you're transitioning or whatever it is, you're gonna have an injury and wish that you could be able to change the way you look. And maybe one day that won't be possible anymore.
I really don't care what people do with themselves.
I don't care either.
I think that's the number one problem I have. I think, why do you care so much what somebody else does? And if you
want big old balls, go get some.
Exactly. If you want to like tattoo your face, go for it. Yeah. Right? You're obviously, there's consequences to everything you do, to everything you say. There's consequences, right? Like whether you get breast implants, butt implants, and people see it and they're like, oh, this is just outrageous. People are going to judge, which I believe in the Bible, you're not supposed to judge.
Yep.
Right? At the end of the day, if you're not doing anything to affect other people, like if you're taking cocaine, for example, but yet you can have it under control and you're not abusing it and you're not like affecting me or people in society
or your family or
why do I carry that you take it? You don't have to tell me.
We may not even know. We may know people.
I'm pretty sure there are people out there. I'm like, damn, bro, you got a lot of energy today.
And you just have no fucking idea.
Yeah. I think what affects when it starts affecting people and people in your lives, that's when something's a problem, right? And so whether it's alcohol, drugs, even like you having to get an implant and maybe like the implants for vain reasons, but it's financially gonna screw you all over.
Yeah, that's
when it becomes a problem. But if you want breast implants,
it's always okay.
It's always okay.
Get that loan.
Yeah. Get that loan. Worst financial advice we can get.
This is financial advice.
But if you want to live longer, go to Italy.
Yeah, because they actually are living longer. There was a video where they were doing like an interview with these two people that I think like owned some large business in Italy, and they were saying that, in Italy I think they only have like a 4-day work week. I might be wrong about that. I do know that they take like middle of the day like breaks, right? Like in between working.
Like in Spain, they do siesta.
Yeah. And they were talking to them and saying, why do y'all do this? In other
you can make it bigger, more money.
In other cultures, that's kind of the culture, right? Is like work. And the lady was like, why would I want to be richer? Like what's the point? Like I'm fine now. I make enough money and I'm more worried about being happy and traveling and being with family. And I think that there's other things that are worth worrying about, other than getting richer. And I was laughing because she kept saying that. Like, to her, it was just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what does it matter?
It comes down to a lot of people don't realize that their idol is money and it's their God. Everything revolves around money, right? Every decision, right? So like education should not revolve around money. Education should be about educating and showing people different aspects of life, whether it's art, philosophy, math, science. All these things matter because once we all start thinking the same, then we're not going to be innovative and think differently. The reason why a lot of people are innovative is someone who went from this degree to this degree.
Yeah.
And that's because they could see it from a different perspective because they weren't taught initially from this perspective. And I think that's what gets lost a lot.
Yes.
Is being able to dabble. Like, I think because for me, I wanted to be a coach and teacher. I see things through sports. It allowed me to be a better personal trainer and explain things through a different way, through a different avenue. And then being able to talk to businessmen, being able to talk to someone who's a therapist. Yeah. And then being able over time to explain better because I got different outlets of experience of life from different peoples and be able to educate myself. It makes a huge difference. And I think too many times, like, God becomes money or money becomes God to these individuals. And people don't even know that money is their God, right? So let's just bring up, like, if you would ask me if most people should have healthcare or everybody should have healthcare, access to it without going bankrupt, it should be a thing. Yeah. Right? Like, it's just going to take off a big stress off of a lot of people. But I know there's people out there like, well, they shouldn't have healthcare unless they like work or whatever, right? Are we like inhuman about this? Right. And we lost our humanity. It becomes about money.
Yeah, it really does like beg that question.
I do believe you should try to work and be a part of society. Like, how do we work into allowing that to happen? And if you work harder, you should have access to better doctors and you should be able to make more money. I don't disagree with that either. But there becomes this fine line
where you have the option, right? You have the option,
right? You have the option to do it, right? And there becomes this fine line where we're celebrating these very high earners like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, who are going to be trillionaires who own, if I remember, Elon Musk owns what, 50%, the bottom 50% of America owns, like financially, like, golly. So is that really fair that one person gets this much? When in reality, too, yes, they were the one that created. Yes, they're the one that did take the risk. Yes, they should deserve a little bit more because they took that risk. But should we just leave the other 50% behind because of this? And because they were part of the process, too, of creating these things. Mm-hmm. So we have to like think really in depth and nuance about it. It's much more complex than he created this. He should get the money. He took the risk. Because a lot of people are like, they point out to Dubai, right? Of a lot of things like, oh, it's a free market, blah, blah. But also, you know what they do is they import immigrants from other countries. They take their passports and it's like slave labor work because they're taking advantage of other people, right? So when they were building Qatar for the World Cup, same kind of concept happened. People were dying. Yet we weren't like, oh, they're mistreating people. You know, it's just this thing of like, oh, do we want to be humans? And actually like talk about the complexities of humans, or do we just, I don't give a fuck about other people? Yeah. I mean, you just sent me the whole thing about, what was it, Finland?
Yeah. They just did, they enacted a 4-hour work week as well. And a
4-hour work week, 4
day work week and a 6-hour work day. Yeah.
So that's 24 hours a week they'll be working.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what I don't know. Do they have a prime minister, I guess? Yeah. That's what she said. She was like, people have better shit to worry about, man. Like, they got families and friends and lives to live. And
I think we're in a different part of our lives too, in society, where we just need to learn, we don't need more, right? All of the lifetime is we need more.
I think we got it.
We got enough, right? We need to be happy and distribute it better. Be able to give people more lifestyles. Like, hey, you want to go visit my country over here or that country over there and go experience life. We're in a better, and then not make it so financially hard that people complain about, there's a group of people who are like, people are not having kids. And they're complaining that world population is going to go lower. Right? The problem is, if it was affordable, I would have had 10 kids. I'd be real. I'd be honest, right?
I'd have an army.
You're like, we're to invade this territory because we have 100 of us.
First, almost park.
It's an inside joke. Yeah. But it's one of those things like, you're complaining that people can't have kids, but also you're only seeing life from your perspective. It's like a lot of fitness people are not talking about SNAP benefits being taken away, right? Food scarcity.
And how that'll affect individuals' health.
All they're worried about is people eating Doritos and Cheetos and like.
Or getting quinoa and avocados.
Yeah. But a lot of these fitness influencers are wealthy individuals. So therefore, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't even talk about the cost of meat being ridiculous or the cost of chicken. They're like, just go eat meat.
Yeah.
Bro, because you make money. And a lot of these people, their parents made money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had this conversation with someone and I was like, you know, there's people, I've seen them become personal trainers and I've seen their path. It was way different than the path I took. And even then, if they did fail, they had this like backup, but they also didn't fail because their dad already had like this much financial and influence within people.
A safety net.
To take people to him. So it's not like they had to work hard.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we got to understand everybody's path is a little bit different. What we need to do is have more of a mother who's more the safety and security. And the more safety and security, the less crazy people would be. That's the number one thing. People are like, everybody's going crazy.
Less desperate.
That's because there's no safety and security. You look at Maslow hierarchy of needs, safety and security. It's right at the beginning. You can never have self-actualization unless you have safety and security.
Yeah.
Now you can have self-actualization. I think there's like a couple like before that. Like you don't need all the money in the world. You need enough just to be safe and secure. But once you're safe and secure, you could create self-actualization after that, right? But a lot of people don't. I mean, we've been in a process where we've gone like up and up and up in money, but we've gotten nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And you're like, when the fuck does this end?
And for people like the Italian lady, like we're creating this business so that we could help people and we don't want to be a burden and stress to people. That's how it should be. And you should create something that's more ethical, not just like money driven.
Yeah.
Because once it's money driven, you've lost.
You lost.
Because I think that's why Congress is fucked, because it's all money driven. You know, layoffs didn't happen like before. Like
yeah,
80s,
you were telling me about
right?
that. Yeah. There wasn't like a concept of these mass
because
layoffs
they were
that happened.
ethical, right?
Yeah. And people, I mean, like, loved companies that they worked for, dude. They would stay for years. We were just talking to our friend right now that was saying that he knows someone that was working at their business for like 30 years. But dude, now they'll just let that person go like that and they won't get any benefits, nothing at all, you know? And it's like, sorry, it's not the same world anymore, you know?
And now they're trying to sell private equity to colleges.
Oh God.
It's freaking wild.
That's good.
And I was like, this is insane.
Because now everything's just be for profit, you know? And it's not about providing a service, it's about making the most money.
I would argue service has gotten worse because everything has been for profit.
Yeah. Because now it's like, well, let's just cut it, right? It doesn't need it. Just let's do the bare minimum, right? Bare minimum of what's going to get us by. That's why when you get good service somewhere, you're like, whoa,
you know what? I've been reading into the SNAP stuff too. This just off topic. I just thought about it. That okay, a lot of people who are like, oh, these people don't deserve SNAP benefits, blah blah blah. Okay, so I think about 1 in 8, I think I read, have SNAP, some sort of benefits.
Okay.
Grocery stores are about to lose $9 billion. How do you think they're going to make up that $9 billion? They're going to raise on the rest of the people.
Damn.
Like, think about it. They're not going to lose it. They're going to gain it. And you know what's going to happen is they're going to get SNAP benefits back and then prices will not drop again.
Yeah.
Because all they cared about is creating more profit.
And they're going to be like, hey, when it was the worst ever, people still bought groceries. So fuck it.
Yeah. And that's what they've been doing with everything. Whether it was housing, they pushed it to the tip. You know, everything they're doing is to push it to as far as possible and to take more out of you, right?
Man.
And I always tell people, public and private, they both need to be around because they both need to check each other.
Mm-mm.
The problem is once one takes over, the other doesn't check the other one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because now there's no like competition.
Dude,
right?
I think it's awesome what California's doing with insulin. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, it's $11 now, right?
Yeah. And then these greedy people who are making bank off of people would have to try to compete in that market.
They're gonna have to adjust, right?
Because it really is that cheap to make insulin.
Yeah, dude, it's cheap to fucking make.
The EpiPen.
I'm gonna say fucking 90% of shit out there, especially medications, it's probably way cheaper than you would ever pay for it. And
that's why you need a public and private company.
Yeah.
Just like Uber needs to be battled against like actual like public transportation,
like
right?
Taxis?
No, not taxis. Taxis were horrible.
Like bus.
More like bus routes, train routes and stuff like that. I guarantee you if you had more buses and trains here in San Antonio, I would love to take the train downtown.
San Antonio's infrastructure is ass.
Unfortunately. We'll move on to...
When are we voting on that?
Prop A. We're going to get our new Spurs stadium. Our little Spurs and Alamo Dome's going to get updated. And then the missions... Good to get.
Oh, the missions are getting something too?
Well, the missions, I think, are supposed to move into like downtown too.
Whoa.
They want to make it like a sports entertainment center.
Football. So I don't know anything.
The problem I have is these guys are billionaires and they're asking for taxpayer money. Obviously, they don't give a fuck about the San Antonio area because San Antonio's not owned by this. It's owned by private equity or whatever. What they're going to do is threaten if they don't get that to move to Austin.
Yeah.
So it's not like they give a fuck about the city.
Yeah. That's what we were just talking about earlier too, right? With one of my friends, like, well, forget it.
we can talk off air because I want to hear it off air.
Never mind.
All right. We'll go to the studies. How just minutes of running can supercharge your health. You told me to read it like that, right?
I did. It needs to be radio voice.
Interval running consequences. The powerful effects of regular running into shorter high-intensity bursts. Research shows that can improve your cardiovascular health, regulate blood sugar, and reduce body fat more effectively than steady runs. Just a few sprints per session can deliver major fitness goals. So they did literally intervals, a HIIT kind of style training. And my problem with studies like this is what's the effectiveness long-term? Mm. And the study was 12 weeks. And yes, it's going to help you. But when does it become too easy and efficient for your body?
Yeah. Especially with cardio, right? I don't think we talk about how easily our body adapts to cardio. Like we're sort of made to do that. Like we're good at doing cardio, especially if it's long distance or long duration.
I mean, they've done like against animals, like how far we can run.
Yeah.
And humans outperform every animal, and that's why they were so good.
That's why we fucking got so good, is that we could just run, maybe not as fast, right? Maybe not as quick or as agile. Yeah, but we can outlast you for forever, you know? And I think it's cool. I think it's great. I think high intensity is good, especially for people who like don't have a lot of time, or maybe if you're already in good shape, you know, it could be a way to do things. But it does make you wonder, you know, okay, is this going to last me 3 months? And then how much more do I need to do? You know, and how much more do I need to do? And more.
Because you can't go more and more and more. The human body doesn't allow that.
Yeah.
You're not I'm a machine.
Still animals, unfortunately.
Put a chip right here, Elon. Make me some robotic arms.
Yeah, can you turn that part of my brain off? So I just run forever.
And then just take out my myostatin.
Yeah.
Inhibit it all. So
let's go.
Get as much muscle as possible. Just walk around.
Sweet jacked.
No, what I also want to say about this is I think it would help a lot of people, right? Like I even go through phases where I do this, but I don't do it all the time because sometimes it feels like my body breaks down too much. And so you got to be careful with how you do this too as well. I think in the study, it was 30 seconds of slow walk / slow jog. Then you go to a jogging pace for 20 seconds and they did a 10-second sprint and they repeated. And so it was something simple like that. And I like going to the assault bike. You've seen me do it.
Yeah.
And I'll just do like intervals 20-10, 20-10, 20-10 for about 4 minutes. And every now and then you do need to push the heart rate like that. But what people do is they take the study and they're like, I want to do it all the time because it's so effective.
This is the answer.
Yeah. It's more nuanced than that. All right. Study number 2, scientists reveal the best exercise to ease knee arthritis pain. Walking, cycling, swimming reign supreme as the best medicine for aching osteo knees. A sweeping review of 200 studies finds that aerobic exercises like walking, cycling offer the best pain relief, mobility gains for knee arthritis. Compared to the types of exercise, aerobic training showed the strongest evidence across the short and long-term outcomes. All forms of exercise were found to be safe, but experts recommend aerobic activity the foundation of treatment.
The foundation.
So this is where like I would debate this, right?
Sure.
And the reason it works is because most people could do those activities.
Yeah.
Right. The problem with strength training is you may not have a trainer who does really well or a physical therapist who does really well. If I can teach you how to use your hips and feet better it's going to take pressure off your knees.
Yeah.
Right. And then I make you stronger. And then it makes that aerobic activity that you want to do much better. I think it comes down to understanding how to manipulate load when it comes to other forms of training. Not saying that this is bad.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's also something else that can affect it.
Yeah, because it's definitely not bad, right? I mean, I think we all are in agreement that walking is probably one of the best exercises ever made. And you're talking about cycling and swimming. These are all low impact, right? For someone who has painful knees, I'm sure that probably feels pretty good. And then, like you said, it's something they can participate in often and consistently. So understandable.
How much weight is the patient?
Yeah, I mean, those things matter too. But I mean, we were just working the other day, right, with someone who had a lot of knee pain. And it's like, if you could just get them to move right.
I was teaching them how to squat properly.
Yeah.
And once they squat properly, oh, my knee pain's gone.
Yeah. And you're like, you know, and while that does take expertise, right, and finding someone who can teach you how to do those things, I do think that it's important to note that there's other things that can and probably should be done beyond just walking and stuff. But if that's all you can do for the moment, do it, right? By no means am I saying it's dumb. You need to be doing strength training. You know, I'm not. And this is what we're talking about, right? Like on Instagram, where if someone saw us, they probably clip that first part and be like, look at these guys. They don't understand. You know, they're just all about strength training and they don't know. But it's like, do what you can do, but always try to do a little more.
I would always argue, find a professional
who
can really guide you. And it's crazy how in fitness and health, we don't look at it that way. But like, oh, I'll get a financial advisor. I get someone to do my taxes. You don't see people going out there like, oh, I know how to do this.
Right.
Only in the fitness space.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah, you're right.
When it comes to health, like find a doctor who really understands you.
Nah. Why would I do that?
Like even doctors are having trouble like with patients because, I know more about health than my own doctor because I got Google.
Fucking goddamn it. You know,
I ask doctors
only in this space, right? That's so weird. You have a plumbing problem, no one's like, I can do that.
I got it. The electrician?
Bench press? I can do that.
Yeah. There's sometimes I'm like lifting at the gym. I wonder what people think about like when I'm doing behind the neck press.
Yeah, they probably look at you and go like, look, this guy's gonna fuck his neck.
He's gonna break up his shoulder.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
I did 175 today.
God damn, dude.
Behind the neck.
I don't think y'all understand. Try to get just a bar and press it behind your neck. And you're gonna be like,
try it today.
Yeah, for real.
No, don't try it today because it's actually very
This is financial advice.
Financially good for the surgeon.
Yeah, for us. Yeah. It's financial advice for me.
For the surgeon, and then you come here and we can help you out. All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, we're on Apple and Spotify. You can rate and review us. Check us out on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. Subscribe, like, check out our website, strengthsolutionspodcast.com. Free blogs, free guides, and programs for purchase. Then strengthsolutionspodcast@gmail.com. Check out, leave us a message, leave us some vote of confidence. Then if you're looking for social media, it's Strength Solutions Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm Strength Solutions Edwin.
I'm Strength Solutions Nathaniel.
Deuces.
See ya.
Peace